Well, Earth scientists around the globe Friday examined readings of the 7.0 earthquake that shook Anchorage, Alaska, Eastern Standard Time Friday afternoon. Seismic waves detected all over 3 weeks earlier, but reportedly not felt by anyone, remained unexplained. Seismographs all around the world detected those waves, including this one in the bedrock beneath Fordham University.
I actually have no idea what happened on November 11th.
Well, Lester, as you know, Anchorage is in a region that is used to these earthquakes, but not quite this powerful. This was a massive earthquake, as you mentioned, a 7.0 that rattled the region for hundreds of miles away.
The quake was immediately followed by a powerful aftershock, causing more damage.
This is walk in the middle. Yeah, walk right here. Of it.
Yeah, there are TVs on the ground. You can see this right here, a TV on the ground. All of these are TVs and computers. This is a camera.
Shaking the heck out of the KFQD studios and knocking us off.
Tonight, this the scene inside one TV station.
Look at this hallway.
With no fatalities reported, roads have cracked and crumbled.
Oh my God!
It could take months for repairs as Alaska enters its deep freeze, possibly cutting off vital supply lines until spring. Emergency teams are facing floods and fire, collateral damage.
People running outside and then back indoors when they thought it was safe, and then another one hits, the first of many aftershocks.
The shaking started at 8:30 this morning. This Anchorage courtroom seemingly on rollers. Debris crashing, pictures flapping, and those inside holding on, then diving under desks.
Oh my God. It's okay. Whew.
And terrifying moments at the airport.
Earthquake! Earthquake!
Panic everywhere. Inside this home, you can hear the rumbling, and this mother frantically searching for her son before grabbing him and rushing to safety.
The tremor felt up to 350 miles away.
There's about 300,000 people who live in the Anchorage area. It is the largest city.
Alaska is part of the Ring of Fire region, an area around the Pacific.
Photojournalist Nick Swan's camera was rolling as the 7.0 earthquake hit Friday morning. Heavy debris breaking through the ceiling before his steady hand lost its grip. Students dove under desks.
A powerful 7.0 earthquake rattling the region for nearly a minute. It struck close to 8:30 a.m.
Parts of the historic scenic Glen Highway have reportedly disappeared.
I have been here 37 years, and that was the most violent earthquake I have ever felt. It was absolutely terrifying.
The quake's epicenter was about 7 miles from Anchorage. Tsunami warnings were issued and then canceled for coastal areas, but not before highways jammed with an already shaken population.
Got a house on fire there.
4 hours today as fires erupted from burst gas pipes. Alaska's biggest city seemed completely cut off from the world.
Told that Alaskans should brace themselves over the coming days for many more, including some that could be powerful enough to liquefy the earth. That means that they could actually turn the soil into a consistency that's similar to quicksand. That's what we likely saw today.
Fordham University Associate Professor of Physics Stephen Holler spoke to us from the seismic station at Fordham University, monitoring seismic activity on campus from a concrete bunker since the Great Depression, and showed evidence of the shaking earth in New York City the station observed on November 11th.
The most likely explanation for this one was some sort of volcanic activity, maybe some shifting of magma underneath the surface of the earth, or the collapse of one of the magma chambers.
Likely not an underwater eruption like the one pictured in this video from Oregon State University, but perhaps an early indicator of one in the region where those waves appeared to originate, near the island of Mayotte in the Indian Ocean between Madagascar and the rest of the African continent.
There's a volcano over there, obviously, but I don't know if it's ready to erupt or not.
Holler dismissed theories of asteroids, the supernatural, or an alien spaceship, instead calling the low-frequency waves almost certainly geological in origin.
There is a mystery to be solved, but you know, how big of it is, I mean, I don't know.
Well, it's a sad sight, and scientists, quite frankly, are stumped. Look at this, more than 100 whales stranded on the beaches of New Zealand. These are pilot whales. They washed ashore over the weekend. When rescue workers finally made it to the remote island, it was too late to save them. This makes the third time these animals have mysteriously washed up on this beach. Scientists aren't sure. They think it may be due to changing tides, extreme weather.
145 whales are dead after becoming stranded on a remote beach. The whales were discovered this weekend by a hiker. Half of the whales were dead by the time authorities arrived. The other half had to be put down as it would have been too difficult to save them. While whale strandings do happen each year, it's uncommon to have a stranding of this size. New Zealand's Department of Conservation is now investigating what caused the whales to end up on shore. Possible reasons could be navigational errors, sickness, or falling tides.
But have you wondered what leads to this curious phenomenon?
Conservationists say that for two entire pods to have stranded themselves in this manner, spread out over 2 kilometers, is extremely unusual.
For them to be so spread out along the beach is quite unique. Usually when we get groups like this, they strand together as a family group or a unit.
Beaching is the unusual behavior of certain types of whales and dolphins getting stranded on beaches.
Thank you. Several protected species of birds, including a bald eagle, dropped from the sky in North Hillsborough. Their death is a mystery.
And Fox 12's Marja Martinez has more on this disturbing discovery in a story you'll see only on 12.
Nearly 24 birds were found dead on this property this past Monday. One of the men who made that discovery tells me that OSB came, picked up the animals, but when we arrived today, we found 2 more dead birds, one here, another one on the other side of that brick pillar, but we still don't have the answers as to what's killing them.
An adult, it has a white head. They don't get their white head until their 5th year.
A bald eagle, red-tailed hawks, and various blackbirds all found dead on this field across from Ligman Lighting in Hillsborough. 2 workers stumbled across them while on break.
Boats are stranded and the fish and ducks are gone. Fishermen and farmers who depended on Lake Chilwa are desperately looking for alternative income. That's after low rainfall and rising temperatures have caused Malawi's 2nd largest lake to dry up. The lake has dried up completely several times in the past 100 years, but extreme weather is causing it to evaporate more frequently.
This year's deadly wildfires and monster storms, terrifying signs of things to come. According to tonight's dire new assessment from 13 federal agencies, government scientists warning the impacts of climate change are intensifying. Climate-related threats to Americans' physical, social, and economic well-being are rising from coast to coast. President Trump, who once called climate change a hoax, has made a priority of rolling back environmental regulations.
I'm not denying climate change, but it could very well go back.
But the administration's own scientists now say significant immediate action is required.
The world will experience more deadly fires, more flooding, and more storms. This, according to a new UN report that finds 2018 will be the 4th hottest year on record.
This year is number 4. And there's an expectation that next year we could see again El Nino, which may mean that next year is likely to be warmer than this year has been.